Hello everybody, Heather here. Welcome back to Retropiece Theatre and our playthrough of King's Quest VI. If you recall from the last time, Prince Alexander here has shipwrecked onto the Isle of the Crown in the land of the Green Isles, which is rather fortuitous because that's where he wanted to go to meet Princess Cosima. Unfortunately, Cosima is cloistered away because her parents have died, and she is set to marry the vizier, Abdul al-Hazred. So Alexander, having nowhere else to go, is gonna look around the island a bit and see what he can find out. So we're gonna go over here to this market. And in the market, we have a pawn shop, a bookshop, and this guy over here.
An old beggar is peddling his wares in the village. He offers a variety of lamps, all neatly lined up on a long pole.
So let's go talk to this beggar guy.
Old lamps for new. Old lamps for new.
He does that periodically. If you are in this area for too long, he'll just
Good day, peddler.
keep saying that.
Good day, sir. If you would like to get one of my fine new lamps, I'll need an old lamp in trade.
Isn't it a rather bad business? Taking old lamps and giving new lamps in exchange?
That's true.
Well, there's always a chance that I'll find a genie. If I had a genie, well, I'd be richer than a king. Besides,
Would you
there's
really?
always a roaring business in antique luminaries.
Okay. Well, let's go into the bookshop. Ali's Books. I have a personal fondness for bookshops.
Hello. I will be right up. Now, what can I do for you?
So as I mentioned last time, a cool thing about this game is all this background stuff you can look at. Like this little bookshelf right over here
A collection of children's books fill those shelves.
are children's books. And each one of these shelves back here are a different kind of book.
These shelves hold a selection of cookbooks.
We have cookbooks.
Assorted travelogues and biographies are arranged on these shelves.
Creepy guy here in the black cloak is looking at travelogues. What's over here?
These shelves hold a collection of oddly titled guidebooks. Alexander notices such books as How to Become King with Little or No Rupees Down, Finding the Right Girl with the Right Dowry, and Why Good Princesses Like Bad Wizards.
Very nice. And then we have this last shelf.
Volumes of poetry are on display on this bookshelf.
Now there's a little black book sitting here on this table by itself.
There's a book entitled The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages on the small table in the reading area. It appears that some regular customer likes that book.
And then there's another book sitting on this table.
There's a small table near the door that bears a sign. The sign has undergone a number of changes. It once read 10 pence, but that was crossed out and replaced with 5 pence, then 1 pence, then free. The sign currently reads, Take one, please. Only one book remains on the table. It looks like the bookshop owner really wants to get rid of that book.
Well, if he really wants to get rid of it, I say we just take it.
Alexander picks up the book from the small table.
Oh, yes, please, take that book. You have my most humble thanks for doing so, good sir.
Really? Thanks.
Okay, so let's talk to Ali. See what he has to say about life here
Good day,
on the
sir.
Isle of the Crown.
I'm a stranger in this land. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
That is quite a question, young man. Who are you, and what would you have me tell you?
My name is Alexander. I know I'm on the Isle of the Crown, but I'd like to know whatever you can tell me about this island, and if there are other islands nearby.
You are indeed a stranger. Anxious is the man who knows not the customs of the land beneath his feet. This island is called the Isle of the Crown because the royal family's castle is here.
Well,
Besides the castle, we also have this village and the docks over to the west. There are at least 3 other islands. The Isle of the Sacred Mountain, the Isle of the Beast, and the Isle of Wonder.
At least 3? Does no one know for certain?
Alexander and I have the same questions.
This is no ordinary land, Alexander. The land of the Green Isles has always been a place of vague boundaries, as if islands come and go. Legend speaks of a 4th island, an isle shrouded in mists. I myself have never seen it. Then, too, the land of the Green Isles is said to exist on the boundaries of this world and the next. Even darker places are reputed to be closer here than anywhere else in the world.
Well, that's not at all creepy.
That's quite a claim.
Claim, yes, but probably just local superstition. We who live here on the Isle of the Crown, at least, sleep well enough at night.
Those first 3 islands you mentioned, how might I learn more about them?
Ideally, a young man seeking such knowledge would travel to their shores and learn about them firsthand.
Well,
Meeting
yes.
the leaders of each place would be helpful, naturally. Unfortunately, the ferry no longer runs between the islands. There has been much political unrest, and it has been too dangerous to travel for years. Perhaps the ferryman can tell you more. He has little enough to do these days. And if you haven't been there already, you might seek an audience at the castle.
Thank you kindly, merchant, for all your good advice.
Ah, but advice is free, Alexander. Making use of it costs much more.
Thank you, wise old man. While we're at it, let's take a look at this guy.
An old man occasionally steals sidelong glances at Alexander from under a concealing hood.
Can we talk to this odd man?
Good day, sir.
The mysterious old man just ignores Alexander.
Okay. You know, there's another book sitting right...
An antique leather-bound book is displayed on a little stand on the counter. On the elaborate cover is the title, Ye Useful Book of Magic Spells.
Ooh, magic spells. Can we have that book?
How much for that book on the counter, merchant?
It is a fine book, is it not? I obtained it from the estate of the one and only magician this kingdom has ever had. Poofed himself into an aardvark in the end, or so I heard.
Aardvark?
I never found the spells all that useful myself, but then I lead a boring life. I tell you what, if you can find another rare book, something a bit more marketable, I might be willing to exchange the spell book for it.
Alright. Can we take this book?
Alexander rests his feet for a moment. Alexander picks up and leafs idly through a book called The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages. Well, that was refreshing.
Okay. Now we know Alexander is kind of an angsty, emotional sort of guy, so let's go look at the books of poetry.
Thinking of Cosima, Alexander decides to leaf through one of the volumes of love poetry. He reads, Thy hair, thy lips, thy beauteous face, and all thy studied female grace have won for thee anon a place within this broken breast. Not bad. And another. Upon the shore the lilies bend, untouched by worldly care, where shadow they her earthly bed, oh, that she were not there. Yikes.
This is some
And
deep
another.
stuff.
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and binds my heart with links so tight I cannot live without the sight of you?
Whoa.
What nameless thing has captured me and made me powerless to flee? What thing is it without a name that brings my mind e'er back the same to thee? The name of love cannot apply. Its commonness does not decry the haunted, hunted, painful cry that my heart makes for you, that e'er my soul eternal makes for you.
A little close to home, that one.
Alexander returns the love poem book to the shelf.
I don't know, Alexander. That seems awfully soon to be so passionately in love with this woman you
Alexander
met once.
picks up the fallen page. It's the love poem he particularly liked. It must have fallen out of the poetry book.
I see that old volume has lost another page. You may keep it if you like, sir. I have glued the stubborn thing back in place 2 times already.
I do rather like it. Thank you, merchant.
Well, I guess we're done here. So let's leave the bookshop. Alright, so we're gonna save here. And let's just, oh, we gotta delete all this. Market. It would help if I could spell. Marketplace. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Retropiece Theatre.